Okay, let's chill out. Todd Fields' Tar, pretty excellent. We all love Miss Blanchett, an angel on earth, and Fields' first two features remain commendable and have aged rather well, I feel. Many times I wondered what happened to Todd Fields. I'd seen both films in 2015, both I rather liked, but even then I was very curious. Well, my question was answered in 2022. This is Field's best film yet, one of the finest demonstrations of our contemporary globalizing digital cultures, possibly recalling the masterpiece that was 2018's The Shadow Play, and as fetishizing the now modern, though Jake Pollock's cinematography might never be matched, really. Also, I recall the emphasis on social media present in Haneke's 2017 work Happy End, although Tara is effectively the superior film, possibly a marginal dissertation on what the younger people are now calling boss girl feminism, most, though definitely not all. Feminism since the 70s has been essentially Randian or Pol Pottian boss girl feminism, whether anyone wants to admit it or not. But more importantly, a film about the opportunistic, predatory nature of the older millennials and younger in trying to subvert and replace the old establishment order. A critique of the smug, plausibly even more effective than Ruben Östlund's very funny, though culturally ineffective, as the receipts demonstrate, Triangle of Sadness, also off that year. I don't like smugness, and I'll dismiss your ethical intentions based upon the tone of your argument, your writing, or your voice. I'll tone police until the day I die, even if you have to kill me to hasten that. The point is, Tar posits that humans, in the reputation-centric social media epoch, forget who they are, have no values until they are forced out by the cannibalistic wolves, until they learn that there is no shame, none. In conducting an orchestra performing these scores from the Monster Hunter video games to an enthused, engaged audience of cosplayers, passionate and blissful. I'm going to go on a spiel here at AOD's major peril. It is a shame that in the time before her social downfall, Blanchett's protagonist would have sneered at the prospect of conducting for a performance of video game soundtracks, certainly to an audience of fans dressed as the characters of this fantastical series. I am not a familiar of Monster Hunter. I don't really play video games anymore. I could tell you everything about video games, or at least get every reference pretty much, up to say 2011. After that, I was out. It was what it was. Anyway, during my time I never became a fan of Monster Hunter, never really played any of them. However, I will defend them from being sneered at any day, every day, if I have to. Why? I, as many probably agree, don't care too much for the high-low cultural divides, especially as some posited high culture is essentially trite slop, and much low culture is canonized in the years subsequent to its initial release. And also, this is where I present my peril, pick an unusual hill to die on. I think I'm kind of done with the term nerd. I never liked anyone who self-identifies as a nerd. It is either too self-flagellating or an attempt to some pandering pick-me predictability. But even referring to others as nerds, what motivates the designation? Enthusiasm and passion, apparently? What is the proposed antonym for nerd, then? You don't need me to tell you. You've thought of a few already. It wasn't that difficult. The notion that someone who follows their desires and dreams in spite of what society deems a more conformist priority is not hateful, not bullying, not intrinsically, but it is confusing, illogical, and far from an ideal. For a lot of people, nerd means someone who I don't respect as much as someone with more superficial societal status. I know some people might find some disagreement here. They don't mind being called nerds or refer to themselves as nerds proudly, or intend it to others as a compliment, but firstly, I think you're trying too hard to be liked. Don't be German citizens of the Third Reich. It is not preferable. Some think if they demean themselves, others will leave them alone, which is possibly true, but it will not gain them respect. If they desire respect, they may not. And three, people who claim to use nerd as a compliment, one, don't identify as nerds, would not dare, and respect people more than they consider to be the antonyms of the term nerd. The idea of being snobby toward Monster Hunter triggered me, and I haven't even played Monster Hunter. Guess maybe I should. This movie is quite fantastic, one of the best nominees of the 2020s thus far, really stellar accomplishment this.